Hey guys, what's up? It's Ray. Welcome back to RayARCH, the channel that is all things architecture and stuff. We are back with another episode of the critique series that is on this channel, ArchCRITecture. ArchCRITecture. We are back with another episode of our critique series on this channel, ArchCRITecture. Our project today is actually more of an interior design project, so I'm actually excited to kind of go through this with you guys. Nicola van den Heever is a student in Australia studying interior design and is designing a refreshment pod in studio. His assignment is to design this pod based on his inspiration from another designer or firm. He is then required to present his design as if it's being published in a magazine. And this is perfect because, as some of you may know, I'm planning on going back to school for writing, so I can write for architectural magazines. This is just a happy coincidence. Side note, I do not know if Nicola is a man or a woman, so I apologize in advance if I'm mistaken your gender. Alright, here we go! Nicola has a client and her name is Vivian Kim. And based off of what I've read from his article in his presentation board, it seems as though he worked very closely with his client. His client knew exactly what she wanted and basically made a list for him, which is great because it's so frustrating a lot of times when your client doesn't know what she wants, which causes you as the designer to have to go back and forth between concepts until the client finally realizes what she wants. I have the presentation right here on my laptop and I will be going over it as I tell you guys what my critique and my feedback is. Like always, I will start with the presentation, which is always, to me, very important because no matter how hard you work on your design, if your client or your professor or anyone looking at your project doesn't understand it from just looking at your presentation board, then there's no point of designing something because you just couldn't get your thought out clearly across to your audience. First of all, I don't hate it, so we'll start with that. I like that there's a theme going on which is pleasant to the eyes. This green and airy feeling goes very well with their concept of rejuvenation and decompression. I understand that this presentation is meant to be designed as if it's going to be in a magazine article, but even so, I don't think it's very editorial or appealing to any designer's eyes. First of all, there is a watermark generated by InDesign, I assume, that appears on both pages and it looks highly unprofessional. This can easily be removed with Illustrator or through any other software. The placement of the bodies of text is strange, however, I do admire the title text. Those work very well in breaking down the rigid format of your board. The second thing I like to point out is the steps to rejuvenation. Like, are those really necessary to your design concepts or overall presentation? If it is, it can be done in a more condensed fashion versus having to take up a quarter of your spread. I admire how comfortable you are with your sketches and how nicely they're done, but I think it would be better to show some scaled hard line drawings. Show us at least the plans as a CAD drawing. It's really hard to get a sense of scale or definition to a space when the plans are all a little bit off in size from each other. Overall, the presentation isn't bad. You just have to understand how to prioritize your information and content. And now let's move on to the actual design. This is definitely a unique idea. I don't have a problem with the design per se. I'm just trying to wrap my head around the assignment. I'm just not convinced that a refreshment pod needs 3 levels of spaces. To me, when I think of pods, I think of something that is completely portable or compartmentalized, so it can easily be transported to a different location whenever you want. Also, when we design pods, isn't the goal to be able to create many of them with the least amount of work? From your design, I see more of individuality in each pod, so it just seems like a lot of effort to design one pod a certain way for one person. I understand why you had to do this because you had a client and you had to cater to this client, but to me, it just seems like this goes against your assignment because your assignment asks for a pod, but then this pod is just so individualized and so specific that it's kind of like, is this even a pod anymore? And moving on, I kind of wish that your facades, the exterior of the building, becomes 100% blended into the surroundings. The top level of the pod seems to be barren compared to the other levels. I just don't understand why that is or what inspired you to do that. What I love most about this design is the complete transparency of designated spaces. I see this because if you look at the plans, the sink, the toilet, the meditation space, the kitchen, the shower room, everything is just open. There are no doors, and it definitely alludes to the concept of freeing the mind and decompressing. I wish our sketches and drawings could elaborate on that a little bit better because, again, I can't get a sense of space and material without seeing the line weights in a technical drawing. Overall, this design is well done for a quick little studio assignment. I think you just have to push a little harder when you design and really understand the assignment and goal. Right now, I can see that a lot of what you did is catered to the client. It's not necessarily a bad thing, it just doesn't clash well with the assignment that you were given. A pod wants to be transportable and easily broken down and put back together, but right now the pod just looks like it's designed there to stay forever. I hope this helped, Nicola, and if you have anything to add on to your presentation, please feel free to leave that in the comment box below, and maybe all of us can actually chip in a few more opinions and feedback for you, just so you can keep working on this if you wanted to. Alright guys, that is it for this critique video. I hope you guys were able to learn something new through Nicola's critique/feedback. I know design is tricky and you have to juggle so many things at once, and it's so easy to lose track of your initial concept. Having a clear thought or concept, something we call partie, is very important if you want to produce good work and a great design. Alright, that is it. Thank you so much again for watching this video. If you liked Nicola's project, please give this video a big thumbs up. If you guys like this series, please subscribe to this channel for some more. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.